The living room wealth effect. Nobody teaches moms. The coffee had gone cold again. Another morning balancing the noise of the house and the quiet question she kept avoiding. Can I really build something of my own? The laundry basket sat by the door, half folded, the dishes waited. And somewhere beneath the rhythm of motherhood, a small voice whispered, what if there's more? She wasn't chasing millions, just freedom. The kind that fits between nap times and school pickups. The kind that doesn't require her to choose between being present and being capable. She wanted to feel like herself again, not just mom, not just caregiver, but the woman who once had ideas that mattered. But the idea didn't come from a business book. It came from the mess on her kitchen table. A craft project left unfinished. A conversation with another mom at pickup. A skill she'd almost forgotten she had. Sometimes the biggest opportunities hide in the smallest, most ordinary moments. Part of her still felt guilty for wanting more. As if ambition had to disappear when motherhood began. As if dreaming about income meant she wasn't grateful for what she already had. The guilt sat heavy, the kind society quietly hands to women who dare to want both. What would you have done in her place? She started noticing things. Other moms who'd quietly built something from home. Not influencers with perfect lighting and brand deals, just regular women turning skills into side income. One sold printables on Etsy. Another taught music lessons online. A third managed social media for local businesses while her kids napped. None of them had it all figured out. But they'd all started somewhere. And that somewhere was usually messy, uncertain, and squeezed between the margins of everyday life. The truth nobody talks about is this. Wealth isn't always loud. Sometimes it grows quietly in living rooms, at kitchen counters, during stolen hours after bedtime. It doesn't announce itself with office buildings or fancy titles. It shows up in small deposits, in skills monetized, in confidence slowly rebuilt. She almost gave up. The first attempt felt clumsy. The second took longer than expected. She questioned whether she had anything valuable to offer. Maybe success just wasn't meant for someone like her. Maybe the women who made it work were somehow different, more talented, more connected, more lucky. Then came the doubt. The kind that whispers louder than failure. What if she invested time and energy and nothing came of it? What if people judged her? What if she failed publicly, where friends and family could see? She breathed, stepped back, remembered why she started. According to recent studies, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments. Proof that clarity often beats capital. Proof that the barriers to entry have never been lower. Technology, platforms, and access have created a landscape where a mom in suburban America can reach customers across the country or across the world. But most importantly, proof that she wasn't alone in wanting this. She started mapping what she already knew, not what she wished she knew, what she actually had right now. Years of organizing household budgets. An eye for design, developed through decorating on a shoestring. Communication skills sharpened by navigating parent-teacher meetings and toddler negotiations. Patience, problem-solving, the ability to manage chaos. These weren't just survival skills. They were transferable assets. The business ideas were everywhere once she learned to see them. Virtual assistants for overwhelmed entrepreneurs. Bookkeeping for small businesses that couldn't afford full-time staff. Digital planning templates for other busy moms. Tutoring in subjects she knew well. Reselling gently used kids' items with a curator's eye. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress. It looks like staying. Staying consistent when results are slow. Staying curious when the learning curve feels steep. Staying committed to the version of herself that believed this was possible. She smiled, not because it was easy, but because it was finally hers. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter, but it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. The laptop open between breakfast dishes, the notepad filled with ideas next to her daughter's artwork. The boundaries between motherhood and entrepreneurship weren't walls. They were rhythms she was learning to dance with. The first sale felt surreal. Not because of the amount, it was modest, but because it represented proof. Proof that someone valued what she created. Proof that she could exchange her skills for money on her own terms. Proof that she hadn't lost herself in the process of becoming a mother. She started understanding leverage differently. It wasn't about working more hours. It was about working smarter within the hours she had. Digital products that sold while she slept. Services she could deliver asynchronously. Systems that created value without requiring her constant presence. The living room wealth effect is real. It's the quiet accumulation of income that doesn't require a commute. The flexibility to scale up during school hours and scale down during summer break. The dignity of financial contribution without sacrificing presence. But here's what surprised her most. The money mattered, but the identity shift mattered more. She was rebuilding the part of herself that had felt dormant, proving mostly to herself that motherhood hadn't erased her capacity for growth, learning, and economic independence. There were setbacks. Months where income dipped, clients who disappeared, technology that frustrated her. Moments when she wondered if a traditional job would have been simpler. The path wasn't linear. Success rarely is. But she kept showing up, adjusting, learning, asking for help when she needed it, celebrating small wins. $50 felt like $500 when it came from something she built. $100 felt like $1,000. Not because of the amount, but because of what it represented. She discovered something unexpected: community. Other women building quiet empires from home. They shared resources, celebrated each other's wins, offered advice when things got hard. They understood the unique challenges of building a business around the architecture of family life. What helped her the most wasn't just finding the right tools and platforms. It was realizing she didn't need permission to start small. She tested different approaches before finding what truly worked. And honestly, it changed everything. This isn't a promotion, just the truth about what made her path a little lighter. Sometimes the right resource at the right time can be the difference between giving up and breaking through. She learned to ignore the noise. The gurus promising 6 figures in 6 weeks. The highlight reels on social media. The pressure to scale before she was ready. She built at her own pace, according to her own values, within the constraints of her own life. And slowly, something shifted. The guilt faded. The doubt quieted. The question changed from "Can I do this?" to "What else is possible?" The living room wealth effect isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building financial agency in the margins. It's about reclaiming identity through contribution. It's about showing your children, especially your daughters, that motherhood and ambition aren't enemies. They can coexist. They can even amplify each other. Her income didn't replace a full-time salary overnight, but it covered groceries some months. It paid for the family vacation. It created breathing room in the budget. It gave her options. And options, she realized, were a form of wealth too. She thought about all the women still sitting where she once sat, scrolling through business ideas at midnight, wondering if they had what it takes, feeling the pull between safety and possibility. She wished she could tell them, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is smaller than you think. It's just filled with the stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. The most valuable businesses she'd seen weren't built on genius. They were built on consistency, on willingness to start before feeling ready, on the courage to be visible even when imperfect, on the understanding that done is better than perfect, especially when you're building between diaper changes and school runs. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot, because this time she wasn't rushing, she was building. One small decision at a time. One service delivered. One product created. One skill monetized. The living room hadn't changed, but everything about how she saw it had. The wealth wasn't just financial. It was psychological. The confidence that came from solving problems. The pride of earning. The identity of being both mother and entrepreneur. The example she was setting. The permission she was giving herself to want more and to work for it. Tell us what part of her story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.